And we're rolling. So we are out in Costa Rica right now, and I took some time to go through some of the messages that I had in my inbox for some of the questions that you guys have dropped in there, and I want to answer some of those questions today. My feet, for some reason, are dancing as I'm talking right now. I don't know why. Maybe I'm in Costa Rica. So I feel like when I first started doing speaking, facilitating workshops, trainings, I was watching so much content. I was watching probably a couple hundred hours worth of content on YouTube at the time. I was reading tons of leadership books. I was going to weekend events. I was going to men's circles. I was doing so many things. I just was like super committed, like out of my mind to like living a bigger life, living a better life than where I came from. And I think what I learned is that information is powerful, but it's not valuable until it's applied wisdom. So knowing these things is not enough. Knowing your triggers, knowing your capacity to love, knowing who you are, being able to identify in the world, like knowing those things, it's one thing, but to apply that wisdom, to take action on that information is a horse of a different color. So I just really want this channel to be an opportunity for me to share some of the just ancient wisdom that I've learned over the years from the old man at the bus stop in London and the beautiful Parisian woman in Paris sitting in front of this huge mural and her just telling me her life story, and wisdom from on a train in New York City headed to Brooklyn, flying to Australia first class for the first time, spending all my money trying to make it work and live the life, and having the most powerful conversation that led to me getting a client, to making more money, to scaling my business, to upgrading my website, to so many amazing things. It was just tons and tons of little choices. What I want for those who watch the channel is to watch this content and like find yourself in the content. Find yourself in a way that you can say, I have what he has, and take this information and run with it. That's the only difference between me and anyone else, is that I'm just willing to run. I'm willing to run. I don't want to run. I'm willing to run my own race and keep my eyes on the prize. So I chose to start doing this Q&A session and start answering questions from my heart based on my experiences of traveling the world, of building businesses, of supporting others on their own respective journeys. And I feel deeply passionate about speaking as much truth with clarity as I can. Hang tight. We're gonna knock some of these questions out the box. You guys ready to go? All right. First question comes from Billy from England, and Billy asks, looking back at who you were when you first voiced to the world the man you wanted to become, and were yet to travel the world, sit in circles, and create major impact, what would you tell that guy? I think what Billy's asking me is, what would I tell my younger self before I became who I am right now? I'll give you three things. The first thing I would say to the younger self is probably the most important thing I think a mentor has ever told me. And I didn't get it when he first told me this, but it's like in my body now. It's like, it's here. It's locked into, like I will carry this lesson with me for centuries to come. And the wisdom is, never adjust your performance to the crowd. I remember when I was a kid, I used to look out into the audience, hoping my mother would be at a game, hoping my grandmother would be at the game, hoping somebody that was there for me. When someone showed up, had double-double. I was scoring 14 points, had 12 rebounds. I was going hard in the paint. When no one was in the crowd, I fouled out the game. I traveled, turnovers. It was bad. It was bad, and I realized that I would only play when I felt. It was conditional. And when you're building something from the ground up, when you're building something from scratch, you're building something from your heart, something that came from your mind, it's such a sensitive process. It's such a sensitive process, and you cannot be concerned by what others think, feel, or believe about what you're creating. It is not your job to leave your seat to teach someone how to build theirs. It is no one's job to come and teach you how to build yours. It's your vision for a reason. And so never adjust what you're doing based off of who's in the room, who's at the table. Trust yourself, trust your process, and trust that you will get exactly what you deserve in this world and what you create your life to be. I hope that I answered your question, Billy, on a serious note, but seriously, from my heart to your heart, don't adjust your performance. Just keep going, stay focused. It's gonna feel like you're leaving people. It's gonna feel like you're leaving them. But the truth is, you're not leaving the people, you're leaving the place, the mindset, the environment, in the environment which you're in. And it's so important for you to temporarily forget from whence you came so you can grab a hold of your vision with both hands. Because when you have two hands on your vision, your feet are going to keep moving. You're going to keep moving. You're going to figure it out. But you got to have a strong grip on what you're creating and not allow anyone to distract, to delay, or deny you of the vision for your life. That's what I would say to my younger self. And that's honestly what I say to myself all the time, because it's so easy to adjust, to dress a little bit different, to talk a little bit different, to be not like yourself. Because fill in the blank. It's easy to do that. It's normal to do that. But for those of you who are on the golden path, following the yellow brick road right now, I would strongly suggest that you trust yourself. Trust. Question number 2. Yo, this thing is, it don't look like it, but it's heavy. This thing is heavy, bro. I'm trying to get that good audio though, you know? Question number 2 comes from Annalise from, I think that was misspelled. I think it's Sicily. She asked, how do you physically accomplish, a lot, stay accountable to completion of tasks, and remain disciplined throughout your day while staying mentally, emotionally, and spiritually grounded? Here's what I'm going to say. That was a mouthful, one. And I felt called to say something that was also shared with me from another mentor. And the mentor told me that words hold worlds. So when you use a lot of words, it takes up space and it's heavy, right? It's like being in a crowded room. Just think of every person in that room being the words that come out of your mouth. And if you use a lot of words, it can actually cause more confusion in the process of finding a solution for you. So simplify. Like, that's a lot to ask for. That's a lot. Like, it's even like my brain's a little fried. Even let me just attempt to reread this. How do you physically accomplish a lot? The goal isn't to accomplish a lot. The goal is to accomplish what's necessary. Stay accountable to completion of tasks. Well, I say write those tasks out and put them in order of importance. Importance meaning what is going to push the boat further off the shore in your life, financially, emotionally, spiritually, and do those things that are going to have the greatest impact. And also focus on the things that are going to inspire you and keep your energy vibrant and keep you self-motivated in the process. And remain disciplined throughout your day. I think discipline is something that is managed. Like, it's not a switch. It's not that you flip. It's something that's managed. You got to keep taking the temperature, because it's so easy to lose sight and track of who you are, of where you're going, of what you want, because there's so much happening around us, especially with technology. And I think that it's really important for us to find ways to keep ourselves accountable, whether that's through a relationship or friendship, a business partner, or, creating a small team for yourself of interns. Having people around usually is what inspires me to stay the course and not drift, because it's very easy to drift. I hope I've answered your question. And last but not least, we're going to go to question number 3. I'm gonna eat you alive. Number 3 comes from Christophe from Kiev. What would you say are the top 3 shifts that happened in your life that led to total embodiment? For me, embodiment is a lifelong journey. I think I started really young, listening to mentors who I felt were showing up in the world in a way that I wanted to show up. They were doing impact projects. They were traveling globally. They were speaking on stages. They had massive followings and they were signing autographs, and they had like this glow about them, this energy that I was really inspired by. And I wanted my time, like I knew early, I wanted my time to count. Like everything I did, I wanted to be for the betterment of humanity. When you stay in the energy of that, when you get up, sleep, eat, breathe it, continue to find community to inspire you to stay in the energy of that, I think that it really it opens a lot of doors. It opens a lot of doors. And I feel like the last 12, 13 years of being in the leadership space and the men's wellness and growth, life is really about the quality of relationships and the quantity of impact. Like, how many people can we mobilize? How many people can we reach and support them in some ways that they may not ever be able to support themselves? Like, that's inspiring to me. So top 3 shifts that happened in my life. I would say 5 years old, I was legally adopted. That was a major shift. I remember feeling very unsafe. And then all of a sudden having this new space, this like not instant safety, but I was kind of integrated into a new environment, luckily with 2 of my blood sisters. I remember the exhale. I remember saying like, okay, this is gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay here. It's gonna work out. It was a major shift. It made me feel like I could put my guards down and I could open my heart a bit and speak freely and clearly and be received. And, I grew up with a lot of love in the house. I think the second shift I would say that was life-changing for me was making the choice to move to California. I moved to California. I was 21 years old, bright-eyed, bushy tail, and yeah, just in my head, I want to work in entertainment. I want to be a storyteller. I want to produce major motion films and documentaries, and I want to travel the world, and I want to grace the red carpet and be amongst the people who are making and shifting and reinventing and imagining culture. Like I want to be a part of the upper echelon who are sitting at the table and deciding, making choices about how the arts will be incorporated into the school systems, and how we can get more families gathering together in the world and healing the home and like that stuff that really inspires me. And I think moving to California, it just like ignited my imagination. How simple but difficult it is to climb that ladder in entertainment. Simple but difficult. We'll leave that there. And then the third was meeting a mentor of mine around 25 years old. I met this woman at a meditation retreat. She and I had this instant connection, this instant bond. She sat down next to me, a head full of white hair, crystal blue eyes. Her nails were done. She was dripping with diamonds. Looked like an oracle, right? Like out of a foreign creature. Like out of a cartoon or something. I sat down next to her and she asked me why I was there. And I said, I feel like there's something in the way of me being magnificent in the world. And I want to discover what that is. I'm committed to discovering what that thing is inside me that's keeping me from being the greatest, most open, most loving, most wealthy, most brilliant man alive. I want to know what it is, and I'm willing to work on it. And she says, that's a good start. Just like, what? She said the simplest things, and it just like landed for me. I remember so many moments of coming to her house and sitting by the pool and pouring my heart out, and her looking at me like nobody could ever look at me and saying, so what are you going to do about it? I hear you. What are you going to do about it? She didn't let me sit in the victimhood, my circumstances, as she would say. She didn't let me sit in the circumstances. She encouraged me. She pulled me up by my chin and looked me in the eye, and she invited me to face off with myself. She invited me to truly see how I was showing up, mirror it back to me. She just mirrored it back to me like, look at you. There's something powerful about that. When people can hold space and they can see you, see through you. That's when your space is being held for you. And I think meeting her, it made me understand what embodiment truly was. It's not about being perfect or having all the answers or being the most best dressed or best spoken or best. It's not about the best. Embodiment is about staying in the practice. It's acknowledging, yes, I messed up. Yes, I dropped the ball. Yes, I'm out of integrity. Yes, I'm late. Clearing the space and starting over again. It's about staying in the practice of it. So for those of you who have questions about embodiment, it's those who are embodied are embodying. It's an ongoing process. It doesn't end. It's the whole point. Move forward with those who move you forward. Spend time on things that take you to the next level. Take inventory of the people you're around, your behaviors. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. That's all I got for today. I'm gonna cut this one right there. I hope that those responses have brought some wisdom to your life, and that if you guys have any questions or thoughts or ideas, drop them in the comment section below, of course. And look forward to seeing you guys in the next round. I'm signing off.